Hello everyone, welcome to my anime review currently for November of 2018 of things that I'm watching. These things that I'm watching are mainly not going to include SSS Gridman. There might be another S. Let me check. SS. There's 4 S's, in fact, not 3. But I've heard that is fantastic, and I need to watch that. And then I might be getting back to you on that. But I want to talk about the current anime that I'm watching, and at least give recommendations on them, because I enjoy them quite a bit. So first and foremost, let's just go through the list and then I'll talk about them. Currently, it is One Piece, Goblin Slayer, Skullface Bookseller Honda-san, That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, Sword Art Online, Project Alicization, I may have said that wrong, and Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. The most I'll have to talk about probably is Rascal, because I just shotgunned all 6 of it, or all 6 available episodes, and I am really, really enjoying it. It's fantastic. So, first and foremost, let's talk about Skullface Bookseller Honda-san. It is a very enjoyable, fun little show. It was initially written by a man who did work for bookselling, it's actually pretty cool. So there's a lot of factual stuff within it, but just the characters and how everybody interacts and the fun of the animation so far have really been enjoyable. I think they're only 11-minute episodes. Let me just check again to make sure. Pause. Yep, they're only 11-minute episodes. They're short, very enjoyable to watch. Highly recommend. Even if you're not into the whole retail book selling thing, you'll get a kick. You'll really enjoy it. And if you've worked in retail, there's some stuff that you'll know. It hits to home. It's very enjoyable. It's very, very good. Now, Goblin Slayer, on the other hand, has been really controversial lately. Well, maybe not lately, but it was certainly controversial on its entrance with the just episode 1, straight out of the gate, gratuitous rape. And then also gratuitous violence. To be shocking and edgy, to get an audience gripped. And you know what? It worked. Very gripped. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Not really enjoying the rape part. It came out kind of wrong. But I enjoy the show a lot. And part of it's just because there's, of course, going to be bigger and bigger things that they have to go up against in the Goblin Slayer party. But I really enjoy how it's just this fantasy thing. It's D&D. It's your Dungeons and Dragons, Bokensho of adventure. It's all, I want to kill goblins. We're going to kill goblins. How are we killing goblins today? There could be some troubles along the way, but we're killing goblins. And there's some kind of overarching story, but we'll see where that goes. I've heard the manga's really good too. But so far, I'm up to episode 6. Very enjoyable. It's very, I would almost go as far to say bland as far as fantasy is concerned. But I enjoy that kind of based fantasy, that kind of D&D, really heavy, I only have this many spell casts. I can only do this much. We need to rest. There's something about it that I really enjoy as someone who's done and enjoys D&D. And it really appeals to me. And it certainly appeals to other people. Hopefully not for the rape. But if so, I'm not going to kink shame them. Now, let's get into the really, really enjoyable things. I enjoy those 2 shows. But there's some things that I've really been enjoying. Really, really been enjoying. First and foremost, I mentioned One Piece. One Piece has been going on for a long time. The last episode being episode 861. I probably watched about 670 of those. The other ones are filler, which I don't necessarily watch because they're filler. But One Piece has been really good for a long time. I I'm really about the characters. Because of that, I really enjoy how everything's going on. And because it's in a very important arc, there's a whole lot of nothing going on because there's a whole lot of things going on at the same time. I mean, you can't fit all of those into one episode correctly. So there's just a whole lot of episodes with a whole lot of nothing, which still pushes the story forward, but kind of sucks because I want to watch it, but I have to wait week to week for nothing to happen. Which hopefully something next week will happen, something major. Who fucking knows? Not me. I'll watch it either way. But One Piece is enjoyable if you're looking for something long form to get into, really based more about the characters. I'd highly recommend it. Very, very, very enjoyable. Let's see here, and the next would be That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Oh boy, this show has been just enjoyable through and through. The characters, the actions, the immediate, somewhat absurdity of it, just very enjoyable, very fun show to watch. And for a slime, he's incredibly expressive. Now, if you've watched the first episode, which you might not have, minor spoilers. In the first episode, basically, he saves one of his kohais, or one of his the people that he works with, and he gets stabbed in the process because the dude's just crazy. So he gets stabbed, and while he's essentially bleeding out, he thinks things like, "This hurts. I don't like that. This, I don't like this. I don't like that." And then all of these attributes that he doesn't like or does like about what's happening basically has him reincarnated as a slime, because if he doesn't like those things, a slime doesn't deal with those things. So him being reincarnated as a slime is very helpful. That's where the name came from. But overall, the show is very, very enjoyable. It's definitely not your standard, transported to a fantasy world. I'm glad that this genre of going to a different fantasy world is, I would say, evolving compared to what it's been. A lot of trapped in or teleported to, or I fell asleep and I woke up in this fantasy world. Like, there's been a lot, you know. I definitely say people could be tired. I really enjoy the isekai genre, which is a fantasy world genre, but it's definitely very refreshing and very enjoyable compared to some other shows which have been kind of doing a bog standard kind of thing. It is quite enjoyable. As far as recommending it and getting you to like watching it, the characters are fun and fantastic. The series of events that have been happening so far, like what's actually going on in the show, are really good. And it's not just things around the main character, it's also things involving the main character, be it how a city-state treats them, how their existence in the world is changing things. But I really am curious where it's going, because it could go badly. It certainly could. But it could still continue on its fantastic route. And so far I'm 6 episodes in, and every single episode has been very enjoyable. So I'd highly recommend That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. All of these I'm watching on Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll's pretty cheap. And even if you can't even if you can't pay for the subscription for it, you can still watch the episodes free. There's ads, but that's kind of how it is. The next, Sword Art Online. Project Alicization, I believe is how it's said. Could be wrong. Sword Art's something that a lot of people know, a lot of people have watched, and a lot of people have very, very strong opinions on. One being Mr. What did he say? Yes, the professional shitbag, the Jeff Thu, Mother's Basement himself, has certainly ripped on the show. And I cannot say anything against what he said. There's a lot of terrible, stupid shit about Sword Art Online, but all in the same, I'm a person for characters. And I will admit I don't necessarily look at things very, I don't say restrictive or review-wise. I go just based on my enjoyment of a whole thing. And SAO as a whole is something I still enjoy watching compared to other things. That's probably why it's still popular. But this newest season, Project Alicization, is doing things that are actually moving the story and the world forward compared to the previous ones. Now, it could just sound like a bunch of stupid science bullshit, which it probably is with what they're doing. But what's happening within the show is certainly moving the story of the characters and the world forward a lot more than something like Gun Gale Online did, like SAO2. Which I really enjoy, just really great. I'm enjoying that a lot. And if you enjoyed SAO, which you might have, or you might not have, you've probably at least watched it if you watch anime, because it's pretty bog standard for most. When someone asks you what you should view the most, a lot of people talk about SAO and Evangelion. Interesting fact, I didn't even watch Evangelion until probably about a year ago. Ooh, that was a mistake. I understand why people say Evangelion is a mandatory watch, because it was damn good and fucking weird, man. But I seriously understand why people say it's a mandatory watch. But like I said, this show's actually moving forward with the series, and it was very interesting, and it has a really weird start. Like, you're gonna watch most of the first episode, and then something's gonna happen, and you go, well, what the fuck is this? It just got interesting, and things just started freaking out. Now, what the fuck is this? So, it makes a little more sense as it goes on. So, I'd give it a couple episodes, at least 3 or 4. But, it makes a little sense as what's going on in the world, and I at least find it enjoyable. Maybe you will too. And the last one, which I just shotgunned all 6 episodes of, and ooh, what a fantastic show it's been so far. Rascal Does Not Dream of a Bunny Girl Senpai. What a wonderful show. What a fantastic show. It's very odd. I'm not really sure how to describe it. I didn't really write anything for this. I'm just kind of doing it off the cuff. I know Jeff, Mother's Basement released a video. I don't know why I'm calling him Jeff. I don't really know him that well. I wish I did. He seems like a nice dude. But, not really sure why I called him Jeff. But he did a video on it, which I'm going to watch right after recording this, just because I need to see what he has to say, or want to see what he has to say, more important. Good, important distinction. But, I would highly recommend taking a look and watching this show. When I first heard about it and first saw it, I immediately wrote it off as, oh, it's a harem, it's this, it's that. Oh, it's a girl in a bunny suit. Ooh. Oh, cool, she looks sexy in it. Sell the figurines, right? But it's a lot more. It's a lot more than that. There's kind of like weird supernatural stuff going on, and with it, the innate cast of characters is really good. They all have different sorts of quirks, and between the main character and the main heroine. Should I say heroine? Because it's not like fantasy? I don't know. I'll say heroine, because fuck it. Between him and her, Rascal, and Bunny Girl, or Mai and Suzuku? Fuck, I don't fully remember his name. Between them two, the chemistry is fantastic. The story writing so far is fantastic. And the way the characters acts are really, really good. And they actually pulled something I knew was going to happen within the show, but I thought would have happened a lot later for like a tearjerker moment. But at the end of the 6th episode, they certainly just pulled some shit. And that made me go, what the fuck is happening on the next episode? Which is a good thing. But out of the shows I've talked about, I would honestly consider Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai my number 1 currently. Number 2, I would say That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. number 3, as just a fun side thing to watch, Skullface Bookseller Honda-san. I don't know if I talked about it, but it's just a very enjoyable side little show. I would highly recommend Skullface Bookseller Honda-san. Very, it's like 10-minute shorts and very fun to watch. I put, like, I don't know, like number 3 and 4 is probably going to be Sword Art and Bookseller Honda-san, as far as like what I look forward to and want to watch. Number 5 is Goblin Slayer. Goblin Slayer isn't necessarily bad. Like I said before, I do enjoy it, especially kind of the oldie fantasy D&D setting, that kind of shit. I do really enjoy Goblin Slayer, but it certainly doesn't provide me the sort of interesting thoughts that I have when I watch something like, say, Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. Because Rascal makes me think of not only just, oh, it's an enjoyable show and weird things are happening, it makes me think about myself. It makes me think about different things and about the world around me, which I really, really am enjoying. It's very good. Very, very good. And as number 6 on the most anticipated to watch is One Piece. Not because it's bad, not because I don't enjoy it. Every single episode I enjoy to see what happens next with the One Piece crew. It's just the fact that I know it's always going to be there. Every week. So my anticipation for watching it is quite low. But I still do enjoy it because I still certainly enjoy the characters. Anyway, this was my random video that I decided to make at 5:40 a.m. Not sure why I did it. Actually, no, I know why I did it. I did it because I felt like it, and I wanted to. And if no one watches this, that's fine. Because I did something that I wanted to. And that's important. Anyway, thank you for watching. Bye.